Vin's Minute Modcast with his mates Sadia and Ashni. Episode 190.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Vin's Minutes Modcast with his mates. Hey Satya, and hello Ashni.
Hiya.
Okay, so as you can see, we have a new mate on the modcast today. Ashni, do you want to say a little bit about yourself before we kick off?
Hello, all modcasters. It's great to virtually meet whoever will be watching this. I'm Ashni. I'm a consultant based in London, and I really have a passion for all things data and analytics and storytelling. And I'm honoured to be joining Min and Satya today for this discussion.
And with that, I think we're going to crack on because we have a fascinating topic that you raised, Ashni, around an article that you saw earlier around really this topic of AI. And every day there seems to be, oh my God, it's leaped forward even more. It's now winning all of these maths competitions. It's, 10 minutes doesn't go by before you kind of think, I'm sure AI can help us. But then a topic we've discussed before, which we'll deeper dive into today, is very much like, where's that leave us, right, in terms of what we do? So perhaps you can kick it off, Ashni, around this lovely article that you read, what that was about, and then we'll dig into it after that.
I think, like you've said, AI, it's making all types of leaps and bounds every single day. And this article that I discovered really explores the kind of existential and ethical implications of AI as it's almost gaining more power each day. And the author of the article really talks about how it does have a lot of potential to revolutionize industries and really enhance human performance. However, how do we ensure that its role in society and with humanity remains more of that sort of serving and helping us rather than replacing us? And it kind of then delves into AI as a sort of function overall, and the fact that it's not human. While it tries to replicate maybe certain human qualities, it actually lacks qualities like emotion and compassion and creativity. And while it can help to maybe automate and help with more menial tasks, we have to ensure that it's not replacing sort of what really makes us as human, which is our creative side, our creative flair, the emotion that we can show in things. And so it's really talking about how do we make sure that there's still that productive element that we have with AI without it actually taking over, and how do we almost work and live with it side by side where it is a useful tool for us. And it's crazy because off the back of this article that I read, I started to look into more examples of AI and people almost falling in love with their AI chatbots and actually trying to have more deep and meaningful conversations with AI. And we forget that this is just a robot function almost. So I think the article kind of really issues a call to action that AI has to be developed and deployed intentionally, but humans still need to remain at the center of the story because we are the ones at the end of the day with that creativity and that passion and that almost emotional intelligence. And AI can just help us unlock that and help us be more productive without actually taking center stage.
It's very easy to think this thing is so good that I read an article recently around a similar sort of thing, in that we're kind of moving the human out of the loop a little bit, in that we're not doing any more thinking. We're not questioning what it's coming up with. We've talked about hallucinations and stuff, but let's say that improves, as it will do going forward. If we're just outsourcing everything, where it's reading our emails, it's replying for us, it's attending meetings on our behalf, then it's like, well, what are we doing? But then also on the creative side, as you talked about, what's it mean for people that are doing lots of very creative jobs right now, from creating art to design to music, and if that's all doing that. So there is challenges, and I think there's also a topic about loneliness, which we've covered before. Satya, we talked about earlier, didn't we, in a previous podcast, around one of the biggest uses of how people are using AI is more to do with empathy and conversation than just, asking it more of like the Google types of things. So I think there is this convergence, and we're only at the start of this journey, right? Because we love this stuff. We talk about AI and technology every day. but for the general public, I'm not sure they really know what's coming down the line in the next, 2 to 3 years, if that's. Satya, I'd love to hear your views on what you've just had.
So I will give a perspective from the scientific view. So creativity is, as Ashni said, right? It's by observing, by seeing, and just purely by relying completely on AI might just miss out the element. Even for the scientific progress to happen, writing is one of the major part of it. So all publications, I think the major means of communicating that we have discovered something or invented something is by publishing the data. And there was a editorial article just I think couple of weeks ago or last week about writing is thinking. So when we write as human, we gather all the chaotic readings that we have done, the experiments we have done. There's so many things that is surrounding us, and we take bits and pieces and start organizing when we are writing it. We cannot expect the same thing from an LLM because it's writing and some many a times hallucinating when it comes to the scientific text, because any new text you're writing, it's not documented yet. You're the first one to document it. You're the first one to see the result and write it. So I think it was more telling. I think also to the more younger people who are entering the science or research area, that first write and then take the help of LLM, rather than the other way around where you just feed a machine saying that do the deep research for me. Do it yourself first and then maybe give it and then combine it somehow, but don't completely rely on a method that gives you a result in 5 minutes.
I think I may have read either that same editorial or something similar, because I distinctly remember reading something around writing is thinking. And almost as you write your thoughts on a page, your brain starts to organize them in a structured way. And if you, like you said, are almost feeding just the high level thought you might have initially started with to a machine, it's doing the thinking for you. And you're almost getting pre-composed ideas that AI has come up with, and it's not allowing you to actually think, does that make sense? Because sometimes, I'm sure you guys have both had this when you've written something down and you're like, oh, actually, that doesn't make sense. No, let me rejig it around, let me structure it. But you only got to that by going through the process of writing it down yourself. And it's so fascinating because, people are talking about AI in terms of helping students in universities, for example, and in school as well for essays and exams and whatnot. So you almost think the students now aren't going through that process of thinking and then actually writing things down and rejigging things. They're just getting a preconceived piece of work from a machine and thinking, okay, that's the only way. I'm not even going to use my brain now to think about how could this be structured better.
Absolutely. I think also like we completely miss out on, like I was observing Min's background for a while, and let's say AI is not seeing what I'm seeing, right? It wouldn't see there's a cloud. It wouldn't feel that it's cold. It wouldn't feel unless I tell it that this is what I'm feeling. I think those, because we talked about creativity, I was like, when you write a novel, you also describe where you're sitting under a tree or um, under an open sky. But I don't think so. The LLM can derive that information for you or feel it for you right
Yeah.
now.